Just, yeah. That's your beat for today.
It's fine. I've beeped off of less. Sounds really fucked up. But
Welcome back.
Welcome back
to Am I the Asshole?
Wouldn't be bringing up assholes right now. It seems.
I question it.
But please don't.
Yeah. Well, hope you all are doing well. For us, it's been a very odd week. I believe you and I had the same amount of time off this week.
I had 1 day off this week.
Same. And it was right in the middle.
Yeah, which is fucking weird.
Yeah.
Especially coming from not ever having days off, really.
That's fair.
To now having them. And then, so now I got to deal with like 2 Mondays. Like today was the most Monday, Thursday I've ever seen, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I feel that entirely. I think I even made the comment yesterday. I was just like gaming with some folks and I just like, man, what, like today does not feel like a Wednesday. Like,
yeah,
it just didn't. And
it's weird.
The worst part is I couldn't sleep for shit last night.
Same.
So I think I didn't get to sleep until like 4 a.m. and I had to be up at 8 for work.
Yikes. Oh, we had about the same then. Like I was 3 and 7. So we were just shifted an hour.
Yep.
Then plus
just
2.
Back.
So the math is not math, and just
it doesn't. Nonetheless,
we didn't sleep.
Yeah, we didn't sleep, but we're still here to give you premium quality content. That's right. And with that,
you know who else gives premium quality stuff?
It's time for an ad read.
Serene's gonna cut that apart, by the way.
I'm fucked.
Did you already see the one that she posted? Yeah, okay.
I did. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what it's all about. Yes, it is 2025, and we are still partnered with Into the AM because they are the best damn clothing brand on the planet.
Yep.
Well, you see us repping it all the time. I rock my shirts, my hoodies, my draws. He's got the hat. He's got his draws on. You know, there's the shorts, the pants, the shirts. I mean, I'm rocking a shirt right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all actually there for you, for every style that you rock. See? Look at that. Look at that right there.
Yeah.
For every style that you rock, you can get you some dope stuff too. All you have to do is go where, Sam?
You got to go to intotheam.com/lousy. Pick out a hat, pick out some underwear, pick out some shirts. And then once you do, make sure to put in our code lousy at checkout to get an extra 10% off on top of whatever else they're doing, which I don't know what they're doing right now. Because honestly, I haven't looked, but you know, I'm sure they're running something.
Well, I can tell you exactly what they're running right now because I just saw something today.
Nice.
Yes. So if you go to their website right now, barring the fact that they may end it because we are recording this on Thursday, so we're 2 days before y'all. But if you go there right now, you may be able to catch it in time. They're running their mystery sale, which I loved because I was able to get this hoodie through the mystery sale. And everything is up to 75% off right now. Using our code, you make that an extra 10% off on top.
Ooh.
Just like Sam said, go do it right now. So again, link in the description and in the pinned comment, intotheam.com/lousy. Again, intotheam.com/lousy. Now, I'm sure some of you have heard, and we greatly appreciate it if you take a moment to do this for us. If you could go to the top right of your screen where you see on your browser bar, unless you're on your phone. If you're on your phone, you should be fine. But if you're on your computer, go to your browser bar and make sure to just deactivate Honey for a moment, because if you haven't heard what's going on, well, they've been doing some things. And hint, hint, we may be talking about that in an upcoming podcast. So with that said, definitely go there. Definitely check out all the stuff, but make sure to cut that extension off. Just for us.
Maybe permanently. So we'll see.
We'll see. After the conversation we have on the podcast, you may want to do that. Yep. But helps us out, helps out all the creators who you see who do affiliate programs and things like that and partner programs. So we greatly appreciate it. Helps us keep the lights on for both of our personal studios here. And also shows Into the AM all the love coming from our community as well. So again, intotheam.com/lousy. Go check out all this stuff. But with that, Sam.
Yes.
It's new year.
New year, new we.
Try again. So this is something that you and I have actually talked about a lot before.
Yep.
You all have heard us say this in many episodes, but something we have never done. So we're starting 2025 off in a groundbreaking fashion. For the first time, what we are going to do, if you could not see by the thumbnail or the title of this episode, we are going to do an all update episode. Typically, we would give you 4 stories, but this time you're technically getting 6 because you're getting the original post and the update. 3 of those, 3 times 2 is 6. I passed math in elementary school. Don't know how.
It's honestly a miracle.
It is.
They're grading on a curve.
I'm at the bottom of the bill. Anyways, we're doing an update episode for you all. It should be a lot of fun. We've talked about this time and time again where, like there's stories where we're like, it'd be great to have an update for this. I would love to know what happened after this, but we've never been able to do that. So this is an all update episode just for y'all. We hope you enjoy. However, before we get into that, we have to make a decision here, Sam.
What's that? Shout out, Buc-ee's.
The best. If only the coffee was from there. We have to decide here and now if we start 0-0 with the new year.
Ooh. And then tabulate a winner for 2024.
If we do, I will concede to your victory, as monumental as it was.
I won't go that far because, I don't think we were fully caught up on the score for the whole year.
We were.
Oh, were we? Okay. Well,
I tallied every single week.
Sure. All right. Then, yeah,
So,
I'll be the victor, I guess. I won. Oh, no. Oh, that's great. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, appreciate it. Anyway, yeah, I'm fine with that. 0-0.
I was going to say, put in the comments what I should give him for his victory, but fuck that.
It's fine. I throw myself the best parties, so.
I hope you know how much I appreciate our friendship to not say every heinous fucking comment that went through my head that would not only get us likely canceled or TOS, but would also put me and you in a position of you probably leaving the call.
Nah, it would definitely get a TOS for sure, but the only reason you're not is because these cameras are on. That's it. But
I'm not wearing pants. Well, with that, just, hey, like and subscribe. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. And yeah, the 0-0, fresh year. The wrist is still popping.
You count it down this year.
This year?
The whole year. No.
No. All right. I'm not even going to look. Ready?
Yep.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Damn. Starting off on a win.
Scissor me timbers. All right, let's go. I don't know. So with that, since I won, this is a very different format of episode that we usually do, because y'all would see usually, winner takes first, loser takes second, so on and so forth. However, today, since there are technically 6 stories, I will be taking all of the original posts. Sam will be reading all of the updates. Cool? Cool.
Yep.
Let's dive in, shall we? Before we do that, Hacker Man. Cool.
Hacker
All
Man
right.
is putting on Do Not Disturb on his phone, probably.
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm a hacker.
First. Anyways, Serene. I was gonna say, I'm giving you gold over here.
Yep.
Hey, look, anybody who wants to come after that title, The total. Go to
The
the total.
I like
I love
totals.
totals.
I like how they just watched this devolve from like a put together show to whatever bullshit. Just
Oh
fucking
my
story.
god, dude. I live for this. All right. First up, am I the asshole for ignoring the groomsman? Okay. This happened at a wedding I was a bridesmaid at a few weeks ago. I, 35 female, have never been married, no kids, and more than likely will be the last of my friend group to get married. I've been a bridesmaid too many times to count. Almost always, I get paired off with another single guy. My family and friends treat this as an attempt to hook me up with the other single guy. They think it will be so romantic if we tell our grandkids who we met at a wedding. I've never been interested in these guys. At the last wedding I was at, I was paired off with the groom's 42-year-old stepbrother. Off the bat, I wasn't interested in Dave. If I were to see his profile on a dating app, I would immediately swipe left. Back to this wedding. I get through the ceremony and am now at the reception. I run into some old friends haven't seen in a long time and didn't know they would be in town. So we spent the night together catching up and covertly watching a VGK game someone was streaming on their phone.
Vegas Golden Knights. By the way.
There you go. The bride came up to me and asked if I wanted to sit with Dave. I was alone at the table and wanted to get to know me. He was alone at the table and wanted to get to know me better. I told her, sorry, I wasn't interested and went back to talking with my friends. If Dave wanted to talk to me, well, he's a grown man and can do it himself. I spent the night hanging out with my friends, having a great time, and didn't think much of it until a few weeks later. I see the bride at a party and she doesn't even greet me. She just tells me that I was a bitch for ignoring Dave. Apparently, he thought I was cute and wanted to get to know me better. He just couldn't because he struggles with social cues. At least I could have just sat. At least I could have just sat with him for a few minutes and be nice to him. First off, I'm sick of being nice just to make a man happy. I told her that I was just there to be a bridesmaid, not to be a minder for a middle-aged man. She still called me out for being rude, being a rude, stuck-up bitch. Was I the asshole or was the bride being out of line? One more thing, a few months before the wedding, I started to see a guy I met at a conference. I never told anyone because I wasn't sure if the relationship would last at the time. I didn't plan on telling anyone until we hit a milestone because there would be some pushback. It's an intentional LDR, or an international LDR, long distance relationship. Even if I was single, I'm still not interested in Dave.
Damn.
Now, Sam, I want to throw a curveball here. Something we didn't talk about beforehand. I think for these updates, it would be fair to say what the vote was.
Like before we read the update?
Well, before we read the update and also before we give ours.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Or do you think we should just go in the normal format and steamroll forward?
I think normal format's fine. Like we'll still give, just maybe shorten our
yeah, that's fair.
verdicts a little bit, and then we'll say
That's fair.
boom and then move on. So
Cool.
So yeah, I mean, I'll keep this one nice and short and sweet. No, not the asshole. You have no obligation to this guy. You know, you're just at a wedding together. From what it sounds like, nobody was saying ahead of time, hey, we're trying to hook you two up. You know, it was just like an implied thing. But still, you don't have any obligation to do so. So yeah, not the asshole.
Okay. I am going to start 2025 off. Great. So before you all come after me in the comments, because I know you love to do so, I'm going to say everyone sucks.
Okay.
And the reason being, and it's not an aggressive everyone sucks. This isn't like I'm saying everyone in here is a shit stain. No, I'm saying like everyone just kind of sucks. OP is correct. Not your job to entertain a man by any means necessary. You know, it's not in any way, shape, or form your purpose in life. It's not, you know, any reason why you should have to go somewhere unless previously mentioned like, hey, Just need you to like entertain this individual for a little bit while we go do what we need to do. Like whatever. However, to me, it's just one of those things where like that last little tidbit there at the end felt like it was an excuse added into why you didn't want to entertain him. Like to try and fortify that reasoning as to like, oh, well, I'm not going to entertain him because it's not my job. But also, by the way, I might have been seeing a guy. Like you could have just said that. You could have just said that in the main body and been like, no, or even tell her that like, no, I'm not doing that because I have reasons. Like, you know, you kind of went through this whole process of saying like, Dave's not attractive. You'd never talk to him anyways. If he wants to be a man and come talk to you, he can man up and come talk to you kind of situation. Oh, by the way, I might have been seeing a guy. Like it just seemed aggressive, but also again, everyone sucks here. Dave just has to take that L. Dave has to take that L. If they're still talking about it, that means Dave's probably still talking about it because Dave is close with the bride and groom, if I'm not mistaken. What was it? Who was it again? It was, let's see, 42-year-old stepbrother. Yeah. So he's a stepbrother. Close. That means Dave's probably still talking about it. Dave, just take the L and go home, dude. But also the bride, leave it the fuck alone.
Yep.
Like, you calling someone a rude, stuck up bitch months after all this went down, like unnecessary. Dave's a grown ass man. He can take his ball and go home. You're not his mom. You don't have to handle it. So I'm saying everyone sucks.
I can kind of see that. I disagree, but I see your logic. So
yeah, again, and this isn't aggressive. This is just simply me saying like, this kind of sucks. Like this it's a shitty situation. So. But the rest of Reddit said,
not the asshole.
Not the asshole.
They agree with me. So let's see this update.
Yeah.
So update, am I the asshole for ignoring the groomsman? Hello, I made a post about a year ago about a wedding I was at where I ignored the groomsman who wanted to hook up with me. It didn't get much attention, but the comments were pretty life-affirming. I've been going through a pretty hard time for a few years now. It's frustrating to see your friends find that one and settle down while you're struggling to navigate your 30s alone, especially when you're from a family and a part of the country where if a woman isn't married with kids by a certain age, something must be wrong with her. My family and friends mean well, but they don't always see how their actions hurt me. Dave did try to reach out to me after the wedding, but I just blocked him. I haven't seen him since, nor do I care to know what he's up to. I stopped talking to the bride. I really didn't appreciate the name calling or being expected to babysit a middle-aged man. Anyway, I wanted to update on this story so I can close out that part of my life. After the wedding, I just made it clear to everyone I'm done being a bridesmaid. I'm officially retired. If you're getting married, good for you. I'm not going to be a bridesmaid. Not even for an all-expensive paid bachelorette trip to Cancun. I think the fact that I was getting drunk and watching a hockey game with friends at the reception said it all. I'm just burned out from going to too many weddings. That retirement because official over the summer. Became official.
Should say became.
Summer. Yep. Okay. I mentioned that I was in a long distance relationship. It didn't work out, but it did introduce me to a pretty big career opportunity. I spent a pretty big chunk of 2024 applying for this gig, waiting to see if I got hired, and when I did, close out my life in America. I'm now living in Australia at a job I love and being able to be my own person. I cut my hair, I got some tattoos, I found a hobby I love. I have new friends who run on the same vibe. I don't think I'm going to get married. If I do, that's great, but at my age, I don't think kids are in my future anymore. And you know what? I'm starting to accept it. My family doesn't, but I have siblings with kids, so my parents can spoil them. I think I just needed to get away from a really restrictive place in order to find my own happiness. Thanks, guys. I really needed this advice in my life. Still love the Vegas Golden Knights, and now I can rep for them from down under. Big dubs.
Yeah, that actually turned out really good. I see. I will say again, I want to reiterate the fact that it's me saying everyone sucks does not mean I'm saying that OP's a bitch by any means. I'm just simply saying like the initial situation was still pretty shitty on all fronts. But seeing this, that's a really good thing. And it kind of makes me lean more towards not the asshole, just kind of seeing that perspective from them, and knowing where life went. But at the end of the day, I think for that situation, I'm still going to lean to everyone sucks. However, big dubs on the fact that your life turned around as much as it did. And you're able to accept the fact of where you're at. You're able to enjoy the fact of where you're at and have a bunch of people around you as a support group that help that as well.
Yep.
So,
I mean, we've said it time and time again. You know, if you want to leave where you're from, leave. Get the fuck out. Find a way to do it.
Absolutely.
And OP did exactly that. So,
yep.
Good for that.
Couldn't agree more. All right. Well, hell, let's move on to the next one, shall we?
Moving on.
Alrighty. The original post. Am I the asshole for telling my dad I don't care if he's absent at my wedding? 2 for 2 on the weddings. Did not realize we did that when we selected our posts. So, let's see here. Yeah. Okay. For some backstory, I, female 24, have a rough relationship with my dad's male 43 wife, female 41. They got together in 2006, married in 2011, and have had 2 children since then. E, who is the wife, has never liked me. I was introduced to her when I was 7 and things were instantly sour. She was mean, snarky, and had no interest in me whatsoever. Now, as an adult, I can tolerate her behavior, which has gotten significantly worse as I've grown up and began to talk back. The issue lies with the fact that my dad has always allowed it. I'm a grown woman and can handle myself now, as I've been doing for years. But when I was a child, he had nothing to say about her borderline abusive behavior and will find ways to change the subject / excuse it whenever it's brought up. This has significantly damaged our relationship, and we're low contact as of now. So, I'm getting married in November this year to J, male 25. We've been together for 11 years. E is insistent that she will be there. She will not. I have made this clear since we got engaged in November 2023. My dad is invited, but I made it plainly clear last year that she wasn't welcome as a result of her behavior, attitude, and treatment of the both of us. It's worth mentioning here that J also doesn't want E as she is discriminatory. J is trans, female to male, and E will dead name him, make comments about it all, and is overall hateful. He is also defensive of me given that he has been with me for the majority of E's treatment. So, my dad met with me last week and told me that if E wasn't present at the wedding, he wouldn't be either. I honestly expected something like this to happen, so I said that it was fine. He's confused and asked me to elaborate, so I explained that he didn't have to attend, but it meant that I would never speak to him again, that I had dealt with him choosing E over me for almost 20 years, and that my wedding of his first and only daughter being a subject of debate was the final straw. He said nothing for a moment afterwards and then got up and left. E has been blowing up my phone with explicit texts, but it's been radio silence from my dad since our chat. As I said, I have dealt with E's treatment and by extension, my dad's silence for almost 2 decades. My wedding feels like a good place to finally end this all, to start over. I don't see a way to fix this or our relationship as long as he's with E. Am I the asshole for telling my dad I don't care if he's present at my wedding? Edit. Just to say thank you for so much for the responses. I didn't expect this at all. All the advice, guidance, and kind words are amazing. I'm struggling to respond to everybody, but just know I'm reading every comment. Also, thank you all for the well wishes for the wedding. Thank you, truly.
Damn. That's a real shitty situation.
No pun intended.
Huh?
No pun intended.
Yeah, I heard that. Like, where's the pun?
Am I the asshole?
Oh. Haven't gotten that high or low brow. I'm not sure where that lays on the spectrum there, but
one's up, one's down, brother.
Yeah, and I don't know which one's like where it lies, but so yes, no pun intended, obviously. And but yeah, I mean, but no, you're not the asshole. I mean, you very plainly stated the rules of engagement, I guess you can say. Pun intended on that one. And yep, there it is.
Mine's off, but that one works. Okay, yeah. I got it. I got it.
Again, sleep deprived. Woo. Yeah, no, I
coffee.
Yeah, if he's going to be discriminatory, just overall hateful, and you don't want her at the wedding, that's totally fine. You know, if your dad wants to come on his own, that's totally fine as well. But I mean, yeah, I don't think there's any assholes here other than E. and potentially dad if he doesn't go.
Yeah. No, I agree with everything you said. There's really not much else to add here. Not the asshole at all. I this really is a fucked situation all around, because I will never understand, as a parent, I will never understand choosing someone over my kids. You know?
Yeah.
I'll never understand that process. To me, it's like, that's just it's demoralizing. It's hateful. It's demeaning. Your kids should be first and foremost your world, your priority, the end all be all until they are off on their own. And even then, they should still be up there in your priority, because you still want to keep in contact with your kids. But to know that someone went to these lengths to just straight up ignore the abusive behavior and then suddenly get upset when that individual claps back and goes, okay, don't come.
Very calm, very just straight and matter of factly.
As the wise sages of old once said, well, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions. So, I mean, that's what it boils down to, in my opinion.
Yep.
Not the asshole. And all of Reddit agrees.
Not the asshole.
Not the asshole.
Nope. Let's see what that update is.
Mm-hmm.
All right, update. Firstly, thank you all so very much. The overwhelming amount of advice, support, feedback, and kind words meant more than you could ever know. So, my wedding was just over a week ago, and it was absolutely perfect. It was me and Jay surrounded by the people we love and the ones who love us most. Neither my dad or E were there. Following our last talk, where I told him I didn't care if he was present, it was completely silent from him for just over a month. I took my dad's silence as his mind made up, and I actually felt at ease with it, which was another huge wake-up call. He finally messaged me in October and asked to talk over the phone. I told Jay, and he said to do it and use the opportunity to make my final choice on the matter and set it in stone. So we spoke. He asked that I allow E at the wedding. I said no. He said that he wouldn't come if she wasn't there. I said I didn't care. We went back and forth for a little bit, mostly just repeating ourselves, until he basically said, "Is this really the hill you want to die on?" I said yes, told him that he had a week to give me a simple yes or no as to whether he would be there, and hung up. He messaged me a couple of days later with a long paragraph about how I was giving him ultimatums, making him choose, holding on to the past, petty and disrespectful, etc. And something snapped. I said that he had more than enough chances to attempt to make things right, but that I was done, and blocked him. On the day of my wedding, I tried not to think about it, and it was honestly easier than I thought, to the point I didn't realize he wasn't there until midway through the ceremony. I was hearing from mutual friends and family that my dad has been pretty silent on the whole thing. Other members of my family / close friends were present at the wedding and asked why my dad wasn't there. And I just told them it was a story for another day, not something I wanted to get into on my wedding. Honestly, this entire situation is just draining. I've known for a long time that it would end in flames at some point or another, and I'm not entirely sure why I held out that little bit of hope for so long. I genuinely feel at peace for the first time in years, and relieved that I no longer have to deal with him or E. I'm in bed with my now husband writing this post, and feeling better than ever. I've realized I've gave him too much of my time and patience when he didn't deserve it. This toxic chapter of my life is done. I'm more in love with my childhood sweetheart than I thought was possible, and can't stop grinning at the fact I get to call him my husband. Again, thank you so very much for for the responses. You're all a lot wiser than I am. Have a great day, everyone. Heart emoji. Another big dub.
Massive dub.
Big dubs.
Yeah, that's huge. And I mean, like, I'm not going to deep dive into this because I know we said we were going to, like, you know, we were going to be a bit more concise with our statements. But I mean, it's no secret. I've talked about this before on the show. I mean, Sam, you and I've been friends for 20 years, so you know this all too well. But, you know, as someone who has dealt with a toxic parent for far too long in their life, being able to truly take that breath and just be like, damn, I don't feel bad about this anymore, and you can move forward, is one of the most fulfilling things in life.
Yeah.
Truly.
I'm sure.
Like, being able to just wash yourself clean of it and move forward and truly never have to deal with it again is not only fulfilling, it's just so eye-opening. The weight that's lifted is incredible. So shout out to you. That's massive. Fucking proud of you. And I hope you and your husband have a long and absolutely incredible marriage. Yeah, that's my thoughts.
Yeah, and simple as that. Can't really say anything more other than congrats again. So,
yeah, absolutely. All right,
moving on.
last one. Am I the asshole for ruining the surprise my boyfriend organized for my birthday? My boyfriend, 26 male, and I, 23 male, have been dating for a little over 8 months. And on early November, it was my birthday. Birthday, homies. I was excited as it was the first time we were going to be spending either of our birthdays together, and he had spent all of October teasing a surprise for his planning. Oh, he was planning. Now, for context, I should mention I have a very complicated relationship with my parents. He knows this, and we have spoken in detail about the why that is the case. My parents are out of my life and have been for the past 2 years. He knows all this. Because of my relationship with my parents for the last couple of years, I spent my birthday with my best friend, who I consider family. So when my boyfriend let it slip on my birthday that the surprise he had planned was a family dinner, I had sort of assumed it meant my sister and her husband and my friend and his partner. I was wrong. The surprise he planned was flying in my parents from a whole different city. I was confused as to why he would bring them, but I might have overreacted. I don't think I even stayed there for more than 30 minutes before I walked out of the restaurant and drove home. I don't really remember much, remember much of it. I just couldn't sit there and listen to my parents belittle me while my boyfriend was sitting there. The next day, my boyfriend showed up to my place. I knew we were going to talk about the previous day, but I guess I was expecting him to apologize. He didn't. Instead, he got angry at me for ruining the surprise he had been planning for a long time, and he said he just wanted to give me a chance to have a normal relationship with my parents. I understand where he's coming from, I guess, but I really didn't appreciate the way he went about it. I told him this, and he wasn't really receptive. He just said that as my boyfriend, he had a right to want to know my parents. I can really see what he means, but I can't help to still feel like I'm owed an apology. So, am I the asshole for ruining my birthday surprise?
Nope. There seems to be a theme of this, an accidental theme of this entire episode of cutting people out of your life that don't make you happy. And 2/3 of them were parents. But
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same thing. I mean, we don't get as much context on this one, but I mean, I'm going to take OP's word for it here that, if you haven't talked to him in 2 years, there's a reason. 8 months is long enough for your boyfriend that should be able to respect that. And I get him wanting to have a normal kind of situation, but if somebody is not talking to their parents for years by choice, you kind of need to respect that. It's kind of like the one where the wife, invited the dad that the husband didn't ever want to talk to again. It's kind of the same thing there. You should know. 8 months is a little early, maybe, but at the very least, after all of this, I think boyfriend should have probably apologized a little bit. But yeah.
Well, to your point there, if you look at the second paragraph, now for context, I should mention I have a very complicated relationship with my parents. He knows this, and we have spoken in detail about why that is the case. My parents are out of my life and have been for the past 2 years. He knows all of this.
So yeah, I know he knows that. And what I mean is, sometimes people don't fully absorb all that information, right? They'll be like, oh, you don't talk to him? Let's get him over here. So I know they've had multiple conversations, but some people can just be kind of thick in the head,
Yeah.
So I'm trying to give the boyfriend a little bit of credit here. I'm not saying anything other than not the asshole. Um, but I think boyfriend probably owes an apology for sure.
I agree with everything you said. But I there's one piece of context missing from this that I really wish I had, similar to the last story. I want to know where your mental headspace is on you not having that relationship with your parents. Like, are you chill with it? Does it still bother you? Is there something lingering? And there's a reason why. I want to say softly, much like the first story, everyone sucks. Because as I have said in many previous episodes, you have got to be able to communicate with your partner, even in shitty situations. And this felt like a strong disconnect. However, I get where OP is coming from. Like leaving the dinner, not want to deal with the parents. I respect that entirely. I think the boyfriend should apologize for sure. Because if you know all the details and you still went out of your way to satisfy your needs and not OP's needs, because like as boyfriend said, instead he got angry at me for ruining the surprise he had been planning for a long time and said he just wanted to give me a chance to have a normal relationship with my parents. That's not your job. That's not your job. That's not, you don't need to do that. You do not need to be a part of that. Allow OP to handle his parents and you handle your parents. End of story. Don't get the wires crossed. I feel like OP here, if you're chill with it, if you've just come to come to closure with it and be like, you know what? I could live the rest of my life not talking to my parents and be completely fine, right? To me, I'd be like, okay, well then, if that's the case, you don't necessarily don't have to be receptive of what he was trying to do, but be verbal in explaining why it bothered you a bit more. Like in a setting in which he won't get angry, right? Because like as a partner, you have to be able to explain to your partner, hey, I hear your feelings, but I think you're missing what mine were, and we need to understand each other's.
They kind of mentioned that. Said, I understand where he is coming from, I guess, but I really didn't appreciate the way he went about it. I told him this, and he wasn't really receptive. He just said that as my boyfriend, he had a right to want to know my parents. So it sounds like they were having a pretty open, constructive conversation, and boyfriend kind of shut that shit down. And he's like, no, I want your parents for some reason, you know? And
well, this will be one of those times that the comments are probably going to go like, Joe, don't do this.
And then to piggyback off that, like I can really see what he means. So OP is understanding boyfriend's perspective, but I can't help to still feel like I'm owed an apology. So all OP really wants here is a sorry for bringing your parents in that you haven't talked to for 2 years, because I know all the reasons why. And then ultimately the question is, am I the asshole for ruining my birthday surprise? Like, is it like technically you were surprised? Surprise, that part's done.
Yeah.
It's not an easy situation in either way. I mean,
it's not.
Of course, ideally everybody, sits around kumbayas and fucking holds hands and everybody's cool. But that it's real life. That doesn't fucking happen.
I for the sake of time, I'm going to say not the asshole. However, there are pieces in this that I would say in a soft format, everyone sucks. Yeah. Not like, oh my God, again, not like, light the fires and, fucking hose everybody down. Like, no, it's, like, This is just like a shitty situation that could have been avoided.
Yeah.
Everyone could have handled it a lot better. Yeah, I'll say not the asshole, but I do feel so like I could lean everyone sucks here solely on the fact that I feel like the two key candidates in this are OP and boyfriend, and though they had the great conversation, there's a level in which like things could have gone a bit smoother. Most of it being on the boyfriend. Let me make that point known. He's just being a straight up asshole for no reason.
Yeah.
But I'm very curious as to what this update's gonna say. So I'll say not the asshole. Slightly leaning everyone sucks. You say not the asshole.
Yep.
And Reddit says
Not
the asshole.
Let's see what that update is.
Yes.
All right, update. First of all, sorry for not replying to any comments at all. How dare you? I got overwhelmed by the amount of attention the post was getting, and I didn't really know how to deal with over 100 people telling me to break up with my boyfriend. We did break up. Yikes. I wish I could say I confronted him with all the comments and their carefully constructed arguments. Don't get me wrong, they definitely did help me, but I am terrified of conflict, so it's probably not the dramatic update a lot of people were hoping for. I should say we did technically make up the day after my birthday's surprise/ambush. I posted about it because I was feeling discontent with how we resolved things. Now I see it's because things weren't resolved at all. He just made me apologize about it without giving me an opportunity to be angry. I thought I could tell him to come to my apartment next week, so I had more time to figure out a natural way to bring it up, and then when we had a conversation about it, we could move on from it. I ended up bringing it up after we had lunch together yesterday, while I was driving him back to his place. Hadn't even meant to do it. But I didn't know how to behave with this underlying anger that I now had. So in the end, I just asked him why he had done it, trying my best not to sound angry, as I generally don't like being angry. He said he wanted to get to know the people that raised me. His answer was bullshit for a lot of reasons, but the biggest one is that I have literally told him that my older sister is the person that raised me. When he met her and her husband, we all joked that it was like meeting the parents. I told him that he had every right to want to meet whoever he wanted, but he had no right to go behind my back and force me to be around people I have cut out of my life. The next thing he said is truly what made me break up with him. He said he doesn't understand how someone can stop talking to their family. I cannot
Very
stress
easily.
Yeah. I cannot stress enough how many times I have explained to him why I have stopped talking to my parents. He has asked more than once. After he said that, I think I had a realization. He doesn't understand me. He has made no efforts to do so. So I told him that after I dropped him off at his place, I didn't want to see him anymore because I don't want to put in effort with someone that doesn't care about what I want. He didn't take that well, but his emotions are not my problem anymore. Right now, I mostly feel really sad. I know I'm probably better off like in the long run, but breakups suck, and I did love him. I think I'll be okay, and I really appreciate everyone's support. Not so much big dubs on this one.
Okay. I'll concede to a full not the asshole.
Yep. There's context.
Because,
we finally get context on these. It's actually kind of nice.
Yeah, dude, it is. No, like actually hearing that now and just hearing more of the context of how much boyfriend was being an asshole and just straight up not listening.
Yeah.
Like y'all have heard us say time and time again in any relationship, you got to be able to communicate. You got to be able to listen, like actively listen and, be verbal in return in a constructive manner. And to know that, like OP said, like that comment there of, boyfriend wanted to meet the people that raised him, which is bullshit because he knew that his sister raised him. Like,
yeah,
you're just reaching for straws now, dude. Just give it up. Like you fucked up, take the L, move on. So yeah, not the asshole, and it sucks now, but you'll find somebody who actually gives a shit later on.
Yeah. I'm just wondering how cushy of a life did the boyfriend have that he never knew such conflicts with not, it might not have been his parents. It almost definitely was it, but like, he had no friends that were quarreling with his parents or, he didn't see any shows or go on the internet or exist in life, like it's a pretty cut and dry thing that shit like this happens, not everybody's a good person, and unfortunately those good people breed. So like, or fortunately, but you know what I mean. So like, yeah, it seems very ignorant of OP's boyfriend to just assume that, one, he could fix everything, is what it kind of sounded like, and then two, that he can impose his will regardless of how many conversations have been had, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, OP's boyfriend, definitely the asshole. OP, though, definitely not the asshole.
Yeah. And I will say this, I can see to a certain degree, like, and I know I made the joke of course, commenting on what you said here, how can someone cut their family off like that?
Yeah.
I agree with you. There's a level of like, how fucking sheltered were you, or you had never been, introduced to that thought. But truth be told, I mean, like, it's a good thing you don't have to go through that, because I mean, speaking from experience here, it's, once you have a level of self-respect in situations like that, where you no longer feel like you have to deal with that bullshit, you're just like, I'm done with this. Like, I'm not dealing with this anymore. I'm not going to fucking waste my life on this. I'm tired of being stressed out all the fucking time. I'm tired of, whatever grievances you need to air out in that situation. Right.
Yeah.
And Sam can say a testament to this. Like, I have a laundry list of grievances I could air out here right now, but I won't. But when you get that level of self-respect, it's such a beautifully fulfilling thing.
Yeah.
The boyfriend needs to respect that. But again, good on you for never having to deal with that. Because it does take a very, very deep-rooted level of strength to get through that shit.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about the assholes who are like, oh my God, my parents didn't give me my allowance, I'm fucking leaving. No, like, I'm talking, there's some toxic shit happening to where your parents just don't give a fuck about you, or like treat you like absolute shit, or whatever reason that may be happening. And you finally go, fuck this, and you leave. Like, good on you for never having to deal with that. But understand that just because you didn't doesn't mean someone else did. Oh, it didn't either. Like, you need to respect those who did go through that and respect his wishes. So to OP here, again, it sucks right now, but you'll find someone who actually gives a fuck about you later. To the boyfriend, fucking kick rocks, dog.
Yeah. And I guess I should clarify what I mean is that, like, I'm not saying that OP's boyfriend had to go through it himself. Like, I'm saying just like being in the vicinity of even like a friend of a friend of a friend, like just having that knowledge of, hey, if somebody doesn't want you to do that thing, don't do that thing.
Yeah.
Because, you don't have to know all the reasons, even though he very much did know all the reasons, So,
yeah.
But anyway, but yeah, no, definitely ultra uber asshole OP boyfriend. Ultra not uber asshole OP.
Yeah. But, yeah. Well, that's it.
That is it. Yeah. It's nice having these updates, so we should do this more.
Yeah, no, I like this a lot, honestly.
Yeah.
That extra, like you said, the extra context really does help a lot in these situations. So let us know, as always, your thoughts in the comments. Did we get them right? Did we get them wrong? How much do you hate me after this? Because I know some of you are probably gonna be like, Joe, don't do this again this year. Stop it.
It wasn't one of your worst ones, so I think most people will just be like, oh, Joe, silly guy.
Goodness. Yeah, no, as always, we greatly appreciate those who have tuned in. If you have yet to do so, click the subscribe button, like the video, drop a comment down below, and if you have nothing to say on the stories, drop your favorite emote, and we will see you on Tuesday.
Bye.